No, babe, don't even say it again.
It was constantly putting fires out last week.
Whatever.
I don't really like people knowing what I do.
Well, here we are again. This is Minding Our Business, the podcast that I'm hosting with my husband, Bobby.
Hello.
We clearly did a good job on the last one, or a decent enough job, because you guys decided to basically leave numerous comments. We actually are so shocked at the kind of like feedback that we've got. I didn't know whether people were going to like it, or I just thought, you know, I didn't think that they weren't going to like it. I just kind of thought, well, we don't know what people are going to think. Are they going to get bored? Are they going to enjoy it? Are they going to want to see more? And it turns out they want to see more. So it's quite funny because on the last one you said this is a test and you want people to comment. Have you seen the comments?
Yeah.
Have you read them?
Yeah.
And?
A bit annoyed.
Why are you a bit annoyed?
Because I was hoping this test would fail.
So you thought I could just do one podcast with you and then never do it again?
That's what I was hoping, yeah.
What? That, like...
Yeah, because you've been getting on at me for so long to do this.
Yeah.
So I thought the only way you're going to stop is if we do one. So I
so
gave it in and thought, let's do one. Again, you're about to interrupt me, weren't you?
Yeah. But I'm learning and stopping, which you should take note of too. Because did you watch the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Apparently people thought I was great.
I'm talking about when you were interrupting me
They thought I was
non-stop.
great.
No, they didn't. No one actually wrote down, oh, that was great when you interrupted her. No one put that.
You just didn't read that comment.
Whatever.
So it was a test that obviously failed for me and passed for you.
I think
now
you're
I'm
going to learn to
obviously
enjoy it.
Sat back here again.
Yeah.
Mixed it up today.
It's kind of the same shade, blue. Oh, you got full blue.
Yeah, it was black last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, black and blue.
So I thought I'd mix it
Blue
up.
cap, blue top.
Add a dash of colour.
Nice.
Bit of blue.
I thought I'd mix it up. I'm wearing grey. Grey and black. I hated how I looked in the last podcast. I genuinely was just cringing because I hated it so much.
Why?
I don't know. I just felt like I just looked
Who cares?
awful.
What?
It's
No.
not about for anyone else. I did not like it. But anyway, so yeah, I put a little bit more effort in today. Plus, I don't know what it is, but I hate my hair down now. You know I always tie it back, right? I just don't like it down. Do you prefer it down or actually tied back? I've never asked you this.
Both the same for me.
Makes no difference. Okay. I'm sure there must be one that you prefer, but you just don't want to tell me because I feel like you...
No, I don't. I don't. I wouldn't have to choose one over the other.
Okay.
No, you're literally answering for me.
No, I just think that you must have a preference.
I don't.
Like,
I just said that I don't mind one or the other. I've been married to you long enough to know how to answer these questions.
yeah, exactly. That's my point, because I think you're being clever about it. Because you just don't want me to turn around and say, like, what? How can you like it with my hair down or the other way around?
Easier to sit on the fence.
No, because then I feel like I'm never getting an honest...
Switzerland answer.
Well, we have a lot of questions. Look at all this.
How many questions is that?
We've got quite a few that have come through. We're not going to be able to answer all of them. Babe. Right, going forward, I don't want to have to edit. I edit these videos, right? I edit these podcast videos by you including things that I clearly cannot include in the video. No, babe, don't even say it again. By you doing that, you're creating more work for me.
Isn't this meant to be raw?
Yeah, but not when you are saying things like that. It just cannot go up. So, as I was saying, there are a lot of questions. We're not going to be able to answer all of them. Some of them have names, some of them don't have names. So I'm going to start on that in a bit. We do have Nico here too. He's out of frame, I think, but he's kind of wondering what we're doing every week here now. How was your week?
Same as it usually is.
Stressful?
Last week it was, yeah.
Actually, yeah, it was.
For me it was.
For me, it was too.
Why?
Because you were stressed. So it was stressful for me.
I thought I was managing my stress out.
No, you were not. So he basically came up to me in the evening last week. It was a stressed week for him. I could sense it. I could see it. If I know that I can make it better, then I'll try. But if I get the gist that it's kind of like one of those where if I try, it's probably going to work against me, then I kind of like take a step back and just kind of let him get on with it.
It was constantly putting fires out last week.
Yeah, it was one of those weeks, more so for you. But he came up to me in the evening and I felt that during the day he hadn't been dealing with his stress well. But he came up to me and he said, He said, don't you think I've been handling the stress this week really well? And I said, no. And that was it. That was it. Wasn't it? He was like, he could not believe that I said no, because he was so convinced that he was handling the stress well. I'm sure you were dealing with it a lot better internally, but I was talking about whatever I could see. So yeah, it was a stressful week. Do you want to ask me how my week was?
Oh, how was your week?
Okay. Well, I had an okay enough week.
Why would I ask you when I was there? I saw how your week was.
Yeah, hold on a minute. I've just asked you and you've answered the question.
Yeah,
Why can't you let me have my
understand.
turn?
Yeah, but you asked me, but you were here with me.
Your response when I asked you could have been the same thing. That you were with me, so why are you asking me?
I've just realised now why, like, because you've asked me to ask you.
Well, too late now, so I'm going to give my answer. Yes, I had a pretty kind of decent week. It was quite productive. But I have to admit, I'm a bit fed up.
Of what?
Of getting sick. I'm
a
so
bit fed up of you getting sick as well.
Yeah, I'm sure you are, babe. Like, I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of being sick. This whole summer, I have been sick. I've not been able to do workout because it's been the kind of stuff that I can't actually go out and work out with. I've had like ups and downs. Like, some days I'm totally fine, and some days I'm like so frustrated that I've been sick and I can't wait to get better. It just gets to me, and then I start getting a bit emotional. Okay, so let's go through a couple of questions. I have the first one, which is, how do you decide what parts of your relationship to share online? I'm going to let you answer that first, because it's going to be a pretty simple answer from you.
Anything to do with me, I don't want sharing. Your social media platforms are more public than mine, right?
Yeah.
I don't really like people knowing what I do. Like, whether it be work related or out of work. Like, I have an Instagram account and I think I've got 6 posts on it. And it's all to do with me riding a bike.
Cycling.
So even though I've put on there, it's like to do with travelling and whatever. But when it comes to mine, I'd rather people not know, because none of their business. So the fact that I'm on here now answering these questions.
Yeah, it's quite a big step.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you're not coming on and like sharing like everything that you would share on social media or anything. It's just us having a chat and maybe answering a few questions here and there and just kind of talking, really.
I think there's certain parts of social media that I think are good, and I think there's certain parts of social media which aren't so good. So I think if you can use it, social media, to your benefit and to educate you or to learn or whatever, I think it's good. Like, I hate the show-off culture of social media.
We do talk about this. Like, I think when we see certain people that we know, and we know that their life is not like that, but then it's portrayed so drastically different on social media, I think that's the part that I don't understand.
Yeah, like I just think, I had many meals when I was growing up with the family. When the food came to our table, my dad didn't whip out his SLR camera to take a photo of the food.
Yeah. I actually think life was like pretty simple back then.
Yeah, you go out, you order your food, you sit as a family or friends, whatever it is, you talk, you enjoy the meal, you enjoy the food, and you go home. And nobody knew. Only the people that were there knew. That was it.
Therefore, you enjoy the moment a lot more.
Correct. Whereas now, people can't eat a dish without telling everyone what they're eating.
It's true.
It's like that.
I mean, we have these discussions, but then I kind of like think, well, my social media is... I guess, look, I think the difference here is that if you have social media and it is part of your career, it's part of your job, you earn money from it. I think that is different,
Correct.
Right? But I think what we're talking about more so is when you're not earning money for it. It's fine if you're sharing your life and that is your life. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? Because you're maybe wanting to connect with family, friends that are not so close to you, like as in, you know, they maybe live in other parts of the world. I think that's great, but there are some people who try and lead you to believe that their life is this certain way when it just isn't. I think that's the part that I find quite frustrating, because I think it's not the greatest example for people, because people sometimes look up to it who are quite naive and don't maybe understand how social media works, and they kind of think, well, I want to be like that?
I think it's ruined the world, because I think it's given people this false like portrayal of people's lives that they aspire to be like you know, like you see, I'll be a millionaire by 30, right? So people who hit 31 and aren't a millionaire think they failed in life.
Yeah, it's so true.
Right? When that's not the case. Like, there's somebody we know, a very, very successful businessman, who started his business when he was, 43, 44 years old? And now he's a billionaire, right? So he started, so if he lived, like, luckily, like, he didn't live through the social media age, but if he did, what he'd be thinking, right, I'm 44 and I'm not a millionaire. I failed in life. So I just think that there's a lot of stuff that goes on in there that it's not great for a lot of people. So you have to know when to like switch off, and I guess that's probably why I don't really want a lot of my stuff shared online, because it's what you believe in, right? So it's like, I believe that not everything that I do needs to be shared on social media. Therefore, I don't do it. Therefore, I don't actually believe that a lot of people that share their stuff on social media is actually their real life, because it definitely can't be.
Well, yeah, especially when you know something.
Unless everyone's living a different like life to me. Like, all that sort of stuff, you know, office for the week. You know, like, I hate stuff like that.
I'm not going to lie, I'm probably guilty of putting that sometimes.
I hate that.
But he gets really agitated with certain things.
Yeah,
like I've noticed.
Like you know, not a bad view for a Monday. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I think sometimes, look, coming from the content creation side, sometimes it can be difficult to come up with different kinds of captions. So you do end up kind of like, these are like fallback, for me, they're fallback captions. They were like, when I'm just not feeling, my mind is not creating.
I've seen some of your stuff, it does make me, I'm like,
oh, thanks.
Yeah, but I'm not
going to lie, some of my stuff makes me cringe sometimes, but...
Yeah, but I don't come and tell you, because it's like, it's your work, it's your social media, you do what you want with it.
Yeah, but I would want you to come and tell me if something is super off.
It's not that it's super off, it's just that it makes me cringe.
Like what?
Like, there's captions, like, that's...
Oh, you're talking about captions. I don't act a certain way that makes you cringe, right? No. Okay, right. I just want to make sure.
I'm saying that.
Like, I'm not doing things that...
I would tell you.
Right, okay, so we're just purely talking about captions here.
The odd photos, I think, are a bit weird.
Like what?
The ones where you're pretending that it's candid, but it's not.
What?
The ones that you're like, when you're like looking away and you're like, okay, now take a picture, and it's like...
Wait, when have I done that?
There's some of your photos.
When have I uploaded a photo like that?
Have a look at some of your photos where you're like... I tell you when you do it the most?
When?
When you're out with your sisters. Like, if it's a girls' holiday...
Anyway, I want to go back to what you said. You said that it was the captions that make you cringe, right? So that's fine. So
and pictures. Not yours, but I'm saying some pictures that people take.
Oh right, yeah, that make you cringe. I've seen that too. There are some pictures like pictures, videos.
I tell you the stuff that makes me like, that I really do like on social media, when people are sat as a family, and you see like some of my friends will go out. They're not big, like, they're not influencers or anything. But you can genuinely see like there's pictures of him and his family having a good time on holiday, and it's just one reel of their holiday, or like swipe, that's it.
Those are the ones that I actually like the most, because it's real life. So like, you just put your phone up and let it record, and it just catches random stuff. Like
last week he posted a video of him with his 2 kids in the garden with a water pistol. That sort of stuff I think is good, because you do still stay connected with people when, you know, like, you see what they're really doing. But Jesus, there's certain stuff that goes on.
Okay, can I talk now? Because I felt like this. Sometimes I feel like I'm interviewing you. I'm included in this podcast too, you know.
Yeah, but you asked me the question, and you're like, "Oh, I'll hand it over to you." So then when I start talking,
okay, like, but when are you planning to hand it over back to me?
When you tell me that, okay, that answer's done.
I need to tell you that your answer's done.
Yeah, if that's sufficient.
No, you tell me when you're done, and then you decide off your own back.
So
you know what? I'm going to hand it over to you now, babe.
Back to the original question: how much of my life do I like, or how do we choose? I would rather very little of my life be on social media.
Yeah, I know that. I think the only time I include you is if it's like an anniversary or something like that, or the odd random post that maybe we've got together.
Even though I wouldn't be offended if you didn't.
No, I know you wouldn't. I like to put it up.
I know you do, but like, let's say, I know there's certain people who are like, oh my God, you know, it was my birthday, my husband didn't put a photo up. And it's like, It's like my social media account. I do what I want on it.
But to be honest, I don't get offended that you don't put it up, because I know that you don't. If you were active on social media and you decided to not put a picture of me and you up on an anniversary or birthday, then I would probably get offended, because I'd be like, you post every other day, but you can't post on our anniversary or something like that. So I would probably get offended at that point. Just an FYI.
Do you know what I could do instead?
What?
Wish you happy anniversary myself.
Yeah, which you do anyway.
Yeah, so I've actually said, this is another thing that annoys me, right? Somebody will leave a message for somebody who's not even on social media. What are you laughing at?
I think I might have done that.
There you go.
Which, to be fair, I've stopped doing that now, because I realised that it was just ridiculous. Because who's it for?
Correct, right? So, like, it could be, like, the loss of a grandparent, right? So grandparents are long gone. They weren't even on social media. It wasn't even invented. Oh, miss you, Gran. What, she going to log in, is she? From heaven? I'll let her know then when she comes up here. Oh, I saw your Instagram post from 1987. Or whatever year it was.
I don't do that anymore, right? But that's not saying that I'm not going to do it, because it might be a time where I feel something and I put it up. Because if I feel it, I'm sure other people will feel it, and maybe that's why they do it. Because sometimes it's your outlet. It's your outlet of trying to kind of express something, because maybe you can't in real life to someone, so maybe that's your outlet.
I'm not saying it like it's right or wrong.
Okay, but
so I'm just giving my personal view on it.
Yeah, which is fine. But what my point in response to you is that with some people, I think it might be a case that they're just trying to express how they're feeling.
Yeah, understood.
And they know that the person's not going to obviously see it. I've stopped doing that. But if there's ever a time that maybe I do it, it's probably going to be because I'm feeling like I need an outlet. So I will do it at that point.
Yeah, which is fine. Like I said, right? So all of this stuff that I'm saying, that people are asking me questions, or you're asking me questions, is my opinion, right? I'm not saying it to offend anyone. I'm just giving you my opinion and my thoughts on stuff.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, I'm not saying, oh, why are you doing it? And, it's wrong. I'm just saying, to me, my logical brain is this: you've put a message out there for somebody who can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying makes sense.
Yeah, so
I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just the way that I'm programmed, basically. My brain is programmed to be like, oh, I'll put a message out. This person can't see it. They're not on this platform.
So what's the point? Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think that not everyone is maybe as black and white and logical as you.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So actually, I didn't really answer my part of that question. So how do I decide? So birthdays, anniversaries, now and again, I will probably include Bobby in a little post. It really depends on if I have anything that I'm already posting that day, because I schedule most of my posts. So I just kind of like decide, closer to the time, if it's something that I want to do. But if I don't do it, I know he's not going to get offended by it. And if I do it, to be honest, it's probably because I want you to read it.
Put it in a card.
I do put it in a card, babe.
This is what I mean.
But you're telling me when you read that post that I put up and I've put a nice message, it doesn't make you smile?
No, it does. Then I'm like, oh yeah, that's nice. But equally, then I just think that message should have just been for me.
Yeah, okay, which is why I gave you a card.
Okay, which is what I'd say. I'll be honest. So given the choice, right? What would I want? A personalised card with a message in it from you, or a social media post with that message card?
Okay.
But do you see what I mean? Because I feel like it's more personal. It's come directly to me.
Noted.
No, I'm not saying it in a bad way.
I know you're not saying it in a bad way.
Noted like your dad. That's how your dad does it.
Because I'm my dad's daughter, that's why.
Noted like I've offended you.
I'm not saying it because I think you've offended me. Like, I don't feel offended by it. I'm just saying, it's noted. Okay. I'll take that on board.
Cool. Cheers.
Okay, so the next one is, how do you deal with negative comments or criticism on social media?
Ignore it.
Honestly, that is the answer.
Okay, hold on. There's more to it than that. I'll tell you my thought process. I see a comment. Okay, so just so everyone knows, so I read all the comments that come through on YouTube, right? Oh my God, people got opinions.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll tell you what I do, right? So I read a message and then I think, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I want to answer this one, right? And I type a message out. By the end of the message, I've kind of calmed down, and then I delete the message, and then I restrict that person from leaving any comments. So the way that I look at it is that you give these guys or girls, whatever it is, that's something that people got offended by. You calling people guys, you can't even say that now.
I'm just saying guys because that's what so many people have said that. Like, you look back on so many videos years and years and years ago on YouTube, people are like, hey guys. When I'm saying hey guys, I'm not saying you bunch of guys as in men. I'm saying guys as in everyone, whoever you are, whatever you want to class yourself as.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You give these people air, right? And you're basically giving fuel to a fire. So if you take the air away, you put the fire out. So I'll just take the air away, just ignore it and restrict the person. I always believe no one's going to criticise you if they're doing more than you. Right? Yeah. The only people who criticise you are people who are doing less than you.
Yeah.
Right. And all these people that come out with their negative comments, I feel are doing less than you. Have you seen that Ricky Gervais stand-up where he's like, well, in the olden days when you used to walk through the high street, right, and you saw a shop that you didn't like, did you just open the door and go in and shout at the shopkeeper and say, I don't like your shop? No, you didn't. You just walk by, carry on with your life, right?
Yeah.
In the same way, if somebody doesn't like what you've got on social media, do you know it's easier? Just carry on scrolling.
It's true.
Or I'll tell you what, do yourself a favour, just don't watch it, because that's easier.
I think what I can't get over is that people do have a lot of opinions, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to an opinion, but it's when people feel the need to bring other people down or be mean. That's the side that I don't understand. I think you probably taught me at the beginning, like, to just be a lot more thick-skinned about things. Like, I don't let things get to me now, and to be fair, I don't really have that much. The most I get is the odd comment on YouTube, which is like, you talk too much, which to me is like baffling, because it's like, you've come to an educational beauty channel, like, what do you expect? How do you expect to be taught anything if I'm not talking?
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with negative criticism, right? But there's a way in which you do it.
Yeah.
If somebody left a negative comment and it was like a critique of something that was done, and they've left it in a way that, look, this isn't right, this is wrong, blah blah blah, and they've given like their opinion, but it's got a basis behind what they're saying, I'm happy to take it on board. It's like, oh, you talk too much. Okay, brilliant. Thank you for that. I tell you what, it's easier, just don't watch the channel.
Yeah, I know.
So if you don't like it, this is the thing. Like let's say I've got a friend who's got a car and it's a certain colour, right? And he really likes the car and he's proud of it. But if I don't like it, I'm not going to say to him, oh, the colour of your car's crap. Like, why would I want to do that? Like, there's certain things that I just think that if you don't agree with certain opinions or certain things, and you're not subjected to them all the time, why do you need to tell the person?
It's that saying, isn't it? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But people still say things. It's like, what?
I think people say things more now because they're hiding behind the screen.
Yeah, I don't think people have the guts to say it face to face. I deal with negative comments in the same way that I deal with negative people in real life. I don't want them around me. That's it. So it's a set in real life, restrict. On social media, restrict or block, whatever I need to do. Next is a good question. What is the most surprising thing you've learned about each other since starting your journey together?
You haven't really surprised me with anything.
Have I not?
Not really, because you're kind of everything that I thought you were. Not when we met.
Yeah.
I think that was like, social media was just starting. I didn't even know what Instagram was when we first met. You
Yeah.
introduced me to that. You're already on it. You're already on social media platforms. You're already doing courses. You're already teaching. So nothing's really surprised me, because I've always thought whatever you're great at, I always knew you were, like, you had that in you. So it's not like, oh my God, like, that's just blowing me by surprise. Oh, she's really good at teaching online, because I knew you would be. So
Oh, that's nice. Thanks.
I don't know if you're offended that I'm not surprised.
No, I'll be honest. Initially, I was not offended, but I was kind of like, what? I wanted to have surprised you with something, but then you went on and you saved it and you were like, you know, I always knew you were going to be great at this, or I always knew you were going to be able to do this. So then you saved it. I would say for me, the thing that surprised me was your ability to like being open to change. Because initially I think I never imagined that you would kind of like move to another country with me and things like that.
I think if you're not changing and you live in your comfort zone, you're not growing. So,
yeah, I mean, I've learned that the hard way, because obviously, you know, moving to another country for me was like kind of like I would have loved, I knew from such a young age that's what I wanted to do. So I didn't mind that change, or like I was looking forward to a change like that. But then there are other smaller things in life that I'm not that great with when it comes to change.
Not what?
Well, you know, because you're the one who's always told me that I'm not great with change. It's like once I'm comfortable with something...
Yeah, like with food as well.
Look, I'm going to be honest, when it comes to food, right, I am a foodie. And I feel like, what if I am hungry and I have a meal and I know what I'm going to get because I've had this one before? Imagine if I try something new and it's so bad and I'm like, that has completely annoyed me, because now I just feel like I've wasted that feeling on that dish.
Imagine,
but equally, it could be amazing.
Yeah,
I know.
If you try it and it's
I know.
So
It could be amazing.
What happens as well when I order something different?
Yeah, then I'm like, wow, that was really good.
Yeah.
I know. It's so obvious. It's so basic. I know that. But I think it depends on my mood. I realised it depends on my mood. Some days I'm feeling like adventurous and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to react badly if it isn't that good. But some days I'm like, that would really piss me off if that was bad. So I'm just like, let's just stick to what I know. So it really does depend on my mood. A lot of things depend on my mood. So we've got a question from Mally. I think that's how you say this. What hobbies, interests do each of you have independent of each other? Well, we kind of discussed your hobby on the previous podcast, didn't we? Which is cycling.
Yeah.
That's your hobby. Anything else?
A hobby isn't something that I do frequently that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd say cycling. I cycle 5 times a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I enjoy it, even though sometimes it's very painful.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy it.
Okay. Well, so we know yours is cycling. I mean, mine's Muay Thai. I really love that. I enjoy it. I have so much fun on my sessions. But obviously, I've been so sick lately that I haven't been able to go. So that's really been bugging me as well. I haven't been able to do what I love. But yeah, that would be my thing.
I would say that's yours.
What would you say is mine?
Reading.
Yeah, I mean, nothing needs to happen to me to be able to read. Like, I can read.
Correct. And you read a lot.
Yeah, okay.
So I would say over Muay Thai,
Yeah.
I'd say reading is probably like, what do you do frequently every day?
Yeah, I read.
Right. You read as much as I write. So if I had to say what's your biggest hobby that you do outside of anything else, I'd say it's reading.
Okay, there you go. Reading and Muay Thai. But reading is what I do more often.
Show us a brief.
Huh?
Show us a Muay Thai move. Like, how do you punch?
Why do you find this so funny? He wants me to like do. He doesn't get me to do it. He asks me. He asks me to do this sometimes just because he wants a laugh. He'll be like, "Do a punch." Did I do it for you?
What?
No, I tell you, you did ask me.
No, you did, and then when I went to hit you back, I went to punch you back, and you know what your answer was?
What?
He hasn't taught me how to block yet.
Okay, but I know how to block now. It doesn't mean, like, obviously he didn't seriously try and hit me. Like, he was just playing around. You got to be careful about all this stuff, what you say now, because people make something out of nothing. He thinks it's funny. He's like, go on, show me some moves, because he just wants to laugh. And actually, now that I say that, I want to ask you something, because the other day, you just started laughing. I was doing something, and he just sat here, and you started laughing to yourself. And I said, what is it? And you would usually tell me, and you said nothing. And I said, what do you mean nothing? Like, he was having a good laugh with himself. You said nothing, I just made a joke in my head. And no matter how many times I asked, he wouldn't tell. And I said, what was it about? And he said, you. Do you want to just elaborate on that?
No, it's my private joke.
How are you having private jokes about me in your head?
Because you did something, and I thought if I tell you what the joke is,
Yeah.
you're gonna start a fight.
I'll start a fight.
Yeah.
Why would you? Do you not think the fact that you even laughed and then you told me that it was about me is
I didn't laugh.
enough to start a fight?
Hold on, I sat here, I laughed by myself, to myself.
Yeah.
Quietly on my own.
Yeah.
Right.
And you think I'm going to sit there and watch you and not ask what you're laughing
caught
about?
me.
We share our jokes. Are you telling me if I had done that, you would have let me? You would not have let me do anything until I had told you. So would you want to know if I did that? Yeah, you would ask me.
I'll tell you what I wouldn't do. Remember a week after. Like, you literally remembered a week after it happened.
Yeah.
No, it's done. The day's gone, it's done.
Yeah, but I didn't solve it.
It's not a murder mystery, is it?
But I didn't get an answer. So it's left unresolved because I need to know what it is that you were joking. Do you remember what the joke was? You still remember? Was it funny? The fact that you're still laughing about it.
But I can't say it on here because you'll delete it.
Okay, tell me now and I'll cut this little bit out because I really want to know. Okay, no, I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear anymore. Don't, because it's already annoyed me. Don't finish it. Don't continue.
No,
I don't
you see
wanna...
now why I didn't want to tell you?
That's really annoyed me that you thought that.
Yeah, but now do you see why that joke was better left in and not out?
Yeah, but do you understand the concept of the fact that you told me the joke was about me?
What do you want me to say?
Don't say it's about me. Say something, just say, I can't remember. Huh?
That's a lie then.
I'd rather you lie, babe. Because if I know I'm going to get it out of you, like I just got it out of you, and that was not good.
It's a funny joke.
No, it wasn't. Don't ever think that to yourself again. Don't ever. Moving on. So this question is from Lida. I know Lida. Lida's lovely. You haven't met her yet. You're going to really like her. She's so nice. Couples working together. And we've had a couple of questions like this. And it's basically like, what's it like working together when you're a couple, basically? And Lida will actually understand the answers to this because she works with her husband too.
It's pretty easy now. Initially it wasn't.
Yeah, initially it was difficult.
So I think now, because we've got our set job roles, it's really easy.
Yeah.
So you do what you need to do, I do what I need to do.
We don't really step on each other's toes.
No, and it's very kind of, you do your stuff, I do my stuff. And then whenever we need to come together to discuss stuff, we come together to discuss stuff. And it's pretty simple and straightforward, but initially it wasn't.
No, I think it was initially us trying to figure out where our areas, yeah. And we've worked it out. I mean, we still do certain things together a lot when it comes to work, like brainstorming and things like that. You know,
It's like a Venn diagram, right? So there's two circles that overlap. So there's you, me, and then there's our little bit that overlaps, and that's it. That's as easy as I can make it. You know, I do everything that I need to do, you do everything that you need to do, and then there's the little bit in the middle that overlaps.
Yeah, I think initially, going back to like obviously us saying that initially it was probably more difficult, that's just because there's a difference of opinions and everything. But from what I can remember, there is another question that asks something about that, so I'm not going to go into that too much. But yeah, ultimately, we have our own kind of things that we do. And do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
I do. I really enjoy it.
I wouldn't say that I feel like my work is work, really, because I enjoy it.
Yeah. But I think that's the great thing about this, is that we do enjoy it. And it's crazy because sometimes I hear other couples who don't work together and they're like, oh my God, I could never work with my husband. I could never work with my wife. I just could not spend that much time with you know, my partner. Them looking at the way we are probably seems really a bit much to them. Like maybe, oh...
Yeah, but I bet they think that we just sit in a room together all day.
Yeah.
And it's not like that.
No, it's not like that. But clearly we spend a lot more time with each other than what some couples do, right? Some couples just couldn't. I didn't have you around as much as I do, even though we're not with each other 24/7. Like, I would miss you. But that's probably because we're so used to it too, right?
Yeah, that's that. But there's like certain days where we'll see each other in the morning and then you'll do your thing and I'll do my thing. And like I'll pop out for lunch and I'll have a chat with you whilst I'm having something to eat. And then I'll go back and then I'll carry on doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're sat with each other all day, every day, just talking to each other. It's just like working for any other company, any other job.
Yeah.
or I'd say we're fortunate enough that we enjoy what we do individually, and we've kind of like fallen into what we need to do.
Yeah, I agree there. Okay, so the next question is from Ruby. If you weren't a makeup artist, what career would you have chosen? So I always find this question difficult because I find it difficult to explain what it is that I do because there are so many different facets to it. Yes, I first initially started out as a makeup artist. I then started training aspiring makeup artists. I'm completely self-taught. We've branched into so many different things within the beauty industry, so still staying within that kind of category of beauty. We've got so many things that we're doing, so it's not just a case that I'm a makeup artist now. If I weren't doing any of this stuff, then I would say I would love to have my own kind of something to do with food, because I love baking and cooking and feeding people. I'm that person who makes something and then I'll make everyone have it, and then I'll stand there and look at them and wait for a response. Like, I remember when I used to make food like muffins and cakes and try all these different kind of like things out at home before I was married. I swear my mum and dad used to get so annoyed. And my gran, I used to walk around and used to be like, oh, so proud, like, look what I've made. And then say to them, try it. And then sometimes they wouldn't want to try it initially. Like, they loved it. They all loved it. But they wouldn't want to try it like straight away. And I would just stand there and look at them like, I'm waiting. I need to know how good that was. I need you to tell me. And yeah, that's what I'd probably do. Something like that.
So just start. So we're going to go to the next question.
So, moving to the next question, he keeps interrupting me. Then I don't know where I've left off because he's interrupting me with things that I cannot include because of some of the stuff he's saying. But anyway, moving on. Next question is from Maliha in New York. And she's sent in like 11 questions. I'm just going to pick a couple. So one of them is, after X number of years together, what is the thing you like about him the most? What do you find most annoying? Keep it real. I'm going to get you to answer that too after, okay? So, okay, what is the thing you like about him the most? There's several things. I would say one is that... Do you like this? Being able to hear good stuff about yourself?
Not truth.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me.
Why are you so unbothered by so much stuff? Like, sometimes you need to have a bit of a reaction,
because,
right? A bit of kind of like, yeah, that was good, or that was nice to hear.
I'll tell you why, right? Because when you get to that point in your life where you're that content that, do you know what, like, we've been married however many years, right? I know what you like about me and I know what you don't like about me. So after 11 years, if you're going to turn around and tell me something, oh, I like this about you, and I'm like, oh my God, go and tell me more, that is weird. Like,
okay, you're taking this way out of proportion. I'm not saying you should sit there like, oh my God, like this sounds great. Oh my God, tell me more. That's not what I'm saying. And the same way you said something earlier and I was like, that was nice. That's it. Sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's about making the other person feel better.
I'm not great at receiving compliments.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Right, there you go.
Just work on it maybe a little bit though.
I don't...
So that the other person telling you, giving you the compliment, feels good about giving you the compliment. Okay, so moving on. What is it that I like the most? Is that the question? What is the thing that I like the most about you? I would say there are several things. One of them being his support. So not in any specific kind of category, just generally. I feel like he is very supportive as a husband and he's always got my back. That's the thing, one of the things that I like about you the most. And then there are other things, like I really like how funny you are. Like, you make me laugh. That's one of the first things that I liked about you when we were chatting on the phone, when we were dating. That I loved how much you made me laugh. I hadn't even met you, we were just on the phone. You were making me laugh so much. Yeah, so those are a couple of things.
Okay, what annoys you?
What annoys me?
I can tell you.
What?
My sarcasm.
Yeah, sometimes that annoys me.
Sometimes.
No, sometimes, because you don't, no, because your sarcasm sometimes is like, it's like you have a joke with yourself. Like, your sarcasm is just, you don't involve anyone in your sarcasm. You've got sarcasm where you're like, okay, that person's sarcastic, they kind of like expect everyone to get it. He doesn't care whether anyone gets it. It is literally just about you getting it, and that's it.
I didn't need to make myself laugh.
I mean, yeah, clearly.
I haven't got an audience.
No, it's not about, I'm not saying that I would like it more if you did approach it in that way.
So it's only to give myself a bit of humour.
I'm not a sarcastic person.
You try that.
I've probably got a little bit of it from you over the years, but when I give it...
That's how I can't take it. You're sarcastic.
No, okay. Take it how you want to take it.
You're not naturally sarcastic.
I'm not naturally sarcastic, but if I do try,
It's
once in a
rubbish.
while, no. What do you mean it's rubbish? It's rubbish.
It's absolute hack. when you try and be sarcastic and I look at you like, what was that?
No, I tell you what happens. If I'm a little bit sarcastic, you have... This is the thing. This is it. I've got it. This is what annoys me. It's when I say something to you, because you like, I might do the same thing as you, and I might just be sarcastic with you or something, or I'll make a little dig because you've maybe made a dig or something earlier. What annoys me is when you feel that you have to come back 10 times harder, but you don't want me to come back 10 times harder.
That's just competitive nature.
Well, I'm just going to say that from now on. It's not the competitive nature, it's just me giving
Of course it is.
what I get.
Okay, but you said this yourself, right? This is what happens.
What?
I give it back,
Yeah.
and then you give it back, and then it just doesn't stop, and then I just keep...
Yeah, but at some point you
and then
need
you
to
get
stop.
Yeah, but you said you can't compete with me on this.
No, but I'm quite happy to turn around and say that. Oh my God, I thought he was going to be sick. I literally thought he was going to be sick. Anyone who owns a dog knows that feeling when you hear that kind of like noise and you're like, oh my God, they're going to be sick. Get them off the sofa.
That's it there.
Okay, so what's yours then?
What's the thing that annoys me?
No, let's talk about what
Yeah,
you...
well,
Actually, mate, you can do it the other way around if you want to end it with
annoys
something
me
nice.
and what I'm surprised by.
Yeah. No, not surprised by. What is the thing you like about me the most?
That you just let me be me. And that's what I like about you the most. Not once have you ever made me feel like I can't do whatever I want to do. Like I feel like and I think this is like every guy's like dream, to have a wife that just lets him do what he wants. Like I know for you it might seem weird, right? But there's like zero restrictions. Like if I want to go out, I'm not a party anymore. I'm not doing anything like that, right? So it's not that I'm doing anything stupid. But what I'm saying is that if I say, oh, I want to go out riding all weekend, right? I've seen memes about, you know, people getting into situations with their other halves because they're on their bike all weekend, right? Or if I want to buy another bike, they're not cheap. I want to buy another bike, never an issue. You know, if I want to go out riding, never an issue. If I want to go out and meet my friends, never an issue. The fact that you just let me do what I want to do is probably what I like the most about you. Because I don't, and I think because it's that thing, isn't it? Because you're living with no restrictions, you therefore don't take the piss out as well.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I don't understand why someone would.
No, well, loads of my friends have got partners
Who
are like, oh, you've been out this many times on the bike, therefore you need to.
But I think majority of the time that comes down to trust. Like, I trust you.
I don't think it's trust.
It's got to be. Like, if I didn't trust you...
I don't think they're doing it because they don't trust
No,
you.
I'm saying majority of the time I feel like it's down to trust. Like, obviously some people I think just generally have that nature of wanting to be maybe a little bit more controlling. I don't think I'm like that.
Thank God.
Yeah, and...
I don't think it would work.
No, and I just generally trust you. So I don't have any problem. Like, do what you want to do. Enjoy your life. Do you know what I mean? As long as you at the end of the day know what is right and wrong. And that's it. Okay, what annoys you?
I don't think we should talk about it.
Why? I'm going to get it out of you, babe, so you might as well tell me. Just think very carefully with how you word it. And think whether it really is something that annoys you or if you're just being a bit harsh.
I think a bit messy.
Oh, for God's sake.
I don't know how else to... I think you're a lot messy then.
Have you seen our apartment?
Yeah.
And
I try not to look at that corner.
where I sit in the evenings.
Okay, so here's an example, right? What are those two things there?
That's the flipping trigger ball, isn't
Okay.
it? Two different sizes because my back is completely messed up at the moment.
Okay.
So I'm doing it every evening and morning.
And they could be put away.
I'm going to be honest. I am one of those where I need to have it in front of me to remember to do something.
I don't think anyone needs to remind you you're in pain because you remind me about it all the time.
It's really unnecessary what you just said.
It's not. How many times you say, "Oh, my back, my back, I can't sit."
I can't help
So,
it because
okay.
I don't know what I've done to it, and it is really painful at the moment.
I just don't like mess. I'm
There's not
anti-mess.
even, I'm telling you, if someone even walked in right now, they would not even say that this is messy. Like, seriously. I'm a creative mess a little bit. Like, I feel like I'm definitely nowhere near that now because I feel like he has really calmed that side of me down.
Yeah. If there's a space, you still fill it.
I mean, look, who doesn't, right?
A lot of people.
Okay, so the next question is, being an entrepreneur has a lot of advantages, but also requires a lot of discipline to stick to a consistent routine and stay motivated. What works for you guys? What do you guys do to keep on track and stay motivated?
This is very simple.
What?
Stop working. Stop making money. Die.
What?
If you stop working,
Yeah.
you stop making money.
Yeah.
And then what? No house, no food.
So what you're saying is that thought process keeps you going. I think what we do is we know when we're about to be burnt out, which is usually roughly at the same time, but we kind of start to feel just need a bit of a break. So we go on like a 1 night, 2 night staycation sometimes. Sometimes it's a few days, sometimes it's just a 1 day thing, like a 1 night thing, but we do whatever we need to do to relax. Do you agree?
Not answer the question.
How does that not answer the question?
Obviously, it's asking what do we do to keep disciplined, not what do we do when we're tired.
Well, that helps to keep us motivated because sometimes we need a break, and in order to
I think they're asking how to
refresh
get up every day and start working for yourself.
Okay, well, I'll answer it in this way because that's how I took it, and you answer it in the other way.
So it's just, I don't know. I guess it's just you've got your things that you need to do. When you have a boss and you have somebody to answer to, you're kind of working out of either fear or whatever it is, like retaining your job or whatever it is, you've got to go and you've got to do this. And I think that, like, having been on the other side where I have been a boss, you just make a miserable environment. You have a load of people that work for you that just hate working for you because you're scaring them to work. Then you have the other side that are leaders and, like this whole new way of working where it's like flexible working, which is fine, but you hear so many people who aren't happy in their work and what they do because of, unfortunately, having to work in a job that they don't really like. So being disciplined in doing something that you like is very easy. If you enjoy,
I agree.
If you enjoy your job, you enjoy what you're doing for work, you get up in the morning and you don't think, oh my God, I'm dreading doing this or whatever. It doesn't take much discipline.
I agree with you there. I think it all does come down to how much you enjoy what you do as well. I do feel like sometimes we'll get the odd day here or there that you're feeling a bit, which is not often, but you're feeling a bit kind of like, I can't be bothered today. And like I said, it's not often, but when we do feel like that, we sometimes reshuffle things around. Not so that we just don't do anything for the day, but for example, there are some days where I'm scheduled to be filming all day for the beauty YouTube channel, and if I'm not feeling it, like, he will immediately say to me, you're not going to film today because I can just tell from your mood that you're not up to it. So it's good for me because I feel like then he sees how other people are going to see it on camera. He kind of reshuffles things, right? That might be a day that I'm feeling like that and he's not. He's totally fine. So that's kind of what we end up doing.
Yeah, but I think it's like that thing. It's like some days I don't feel like riding. I'm tired, but I still get up and go and do it.
Yeah, but if I get up and I'm feeling that way and I go on camera, it shows. Correct.
So I understand what you're saying. So I think with me, the discipline thing is sometimes because I'm not on camera and I don't have to, it's not putting on an act, but
you're not performing anyway, yeah.
So it doesn't really matter to me. So if I'm feeling like if something needs to get done, it needs to get done. Like I can't put it off because a lot of the stuff that I do is time sensitive.
Yeah.
It's time critical. So if the slower I am at doing what I need to do, the worse position I'm putting for myself. So it's easier if I just get up and do it and get it out of the way.
Yeah. Okay, so another question. Date nights. Who usually plans them?
Don't do date nights anymore.
Well, we did kind of like say to each other, didn't we, that we're going to...
Shall I tell you why?
Why?
We do date afternoons.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We were doing it like, I don't know, once a month or something. And then, to be honest, when it gets to evening time, we just want to chill. It'll get to evening time and I just can't be dealing with getting dressed up, probably feeling uncomfortable dressed up because I've put heels on, because I just can't be dealing with that. Going out for the evening, getting back late, so I'm going to feel like I'm not getting my full sleep, because I'll be honest, we go to bed pretty early. I can't be dealing with that. I'd rather sit indoors with a blanket with him and have a good evening in. That's my ideal of the perfect night. Watching a movie, I have my blanket, I've got my husband, I've got Nico, and have a good meal. That's my ideal night. So I feel like...
I'd rather go out for breakfast or lunch.
Yeah, so we do a lot of breakfast dates or lunch dates. That's what we've started doing, and I'm actually really cool with that.
Sometimes we even just go out for coffee.
Yeah, like if we feel that we haven't had a chance to kind of do something, like go out for a meal together, we'll just go for coffee or something.
So, yeah.
I class all of those little things as little date things, especially when it's not relating to work.
Yeah, because it's the effort that we put in to go out with one another and we don't discuss work.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah. So I think that's what we do.
Getting dressed up. Oh.
I know, that's literally how I feel. I'm like, oh, I can't be dealing with it.
Yeah, I'd rather... It's fine when you're in a group of people and, you know, like it's a special occasion, but... Or if you're staying at a hotel and you know, right, you can literally just, as soon as you finish dinner, go straight back up to your room and chill. So that's different.
Yeah, I agree there. I'm going to be honest, my back is really hurting from sitting here, so I need to get up. So I think what do you think? How did this podcast session go?
The fact that you just reminded me that your back hurts.
Listen, it's really painful. I'm going to go eat lunch and have an ibuprofen right now. I don't know what I've done to my back.
Did that remind you to use the trigger ball?
Very funny. I don't know what I've done, but I can't sit. So the only thing I can do is kind of like stand, walk and lay down, which is not painful. But every time I sit down, it's just horrible.
How do I think it went?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think everyone else should.
Let us know again. Another test, or we're done? We're done, really. That was your ultimatum.
No, I think because...
No, we're not doing that.
No, the first one could be a novelty, right? Yeah, first one's a novelty. Second one is like, oh, actually, this is a bit boring now. You never know.
Oh, for God's sake. You can't do that. Every time I'm unsure whether we're going to have another podcast or not. That's like everyone else is very unsure about this too, as well as me.
No. It's only twice, isn't it? It's not like...
People are going to be like, have you seen that new temporary podcast that's gone live?
And
then they're like, oh, how many episodes? Oh, we don't know. We don't know if there's going to be another one.
Do you know how many times you have to see something before it's a habit?
What?
Or do something 21 times. And then it becomes a habit. So they need to see this 21 times before they're used to it as it being.
Well, we've got a little while to go then, haven't we?
Correct. So if we don't get to that 21
I'm not doing that 21 times, babe.
Nobody's going to be just...
I'm not 21 times. I'm not sitting here not knowing if we're going to film again. So we're going to have to speed that up a bit.
Tell me how you do that.
By reducing the number down to 1.
Well, have you just made this new theory up then? You do something once and it becomes a habit.
Yeah, that's how we're going to look at this podcast. We do want you guys to send us in your questions, whatever they may be. Keep it interesting. Let us know what you guys want to know. Or maybe you guys have a bit of a dilemma, right? Maybe you have a dilemma.
It's not therapy.
No, I know it's not therapy, but I'm happy to answer that question. And I'm sure Bobby will kind of give his little input. Like, what's going on? Is there something that we can help with maybe? This isn't like an agony aunt thing. We're not doing that. We're just having a nice chat, but if some good ones come through, we'll try and answer them. Yeah, see how this goes. But I'm so happy that you guys really enjoyed the podcast. I'm so happy that you guys left all those comments. Because it did do really well. That video went to #1 on YouTube. In terms of our stats, not like #1 in the world or anything, guys. I mean, like in terms of when we look at the analytics, that video went to #1 compared to so many other videos on the channel. So, yeah. It did really well.
Yeah, I can tell you're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see.
Yeah. Anything else you want to discuss on this podcast before we hit stop? Our anniversary's coming up, by the way, next week.
All I want to say is that...
Let's see if he puts a post up for me. This is what he does. When he does genuinely find it funny, but he can't really show that he finds it funny. So what he does is he does that. I've noticed. That's when you actually do find it funny.
Can I say what I want to add?
Yeah.
Whatever I say isn't out there to offend people. So I know a lot of people will find some of my viewpoints offensive. I'm very aware of that.
Okay.
But this isn't to offend anyone. This is clearly just my opinion.
Yeah, obviously.
I just want to caveat that before we get multiple complaints that I have certain viewpoints, but they are my viewpoints. Very black and white.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Look, we all have our own opinion.
Life's simpler that way.
Yeah. We're not out to hurt anyone. I love your sarcasm, babe.
That's a lie.
I love it.
That's a lie.
I do love it. It's just sometimes you can just bring it down just a little bit.
Why do I do that?
It depends on my mood. You know, everything depends on my mood, babe. So if you know, okay, she's blatantly a little bit kind of like maybe a bit it's not the time. There are times that it's gonna work, and then there are times where it's like, now's not the time.
Imagine if I was moody.
Who said I'm moody? I never said that I'm moody. I said it depends on my mood.
Okay, so different.
I didn't say that I'm moody. I'm not moody, but I'm generally not a moody person. Babe, you need to respond to me and tell me that I'm not a moody person. I'm not a moody person.
You can put that in as well. People can see how angry and violent you are.
I was not angry.
Yeah.
That was not angry. How is that angry?
Okay, so you're not a moody person like that.
Yeah.
But you have multiple moods.
I'll take that. Yeah.
So I just don't know what personality is coming out today. Is it the happy one, the angry one, the emotional one? Or I can have all of them in one day. Depends on what the weather's like.
At least I keep you on your toes.
Wake up and you're happy.
Yeah.
A couple of hours later, you're sitting there and you're about to cry.
I can't help. He's making me out to be like, oh, I seriously am all over the place. I'm really not. Most of the time, I'm just quite consistent. But we are going to wrap it up there. And I hope you have enjoyed the podcast today. Thank you so much for watching. Send in your questions. We can't wait till the next one. So see you next time.